everybody, welcome to our Power Women of the Bible series here on The Daily Dose. When I was 19 years old, I had my son Chase, and it was hard. It was a hard pregnancy. I didn't really know what to do because I was 19 years old. And at that time, way back in the 90s, I only had a book, What to Expect When You're Expecting, to help me kind of through this pregnancy. I wasn't able to really search it up on the internet like you are now. And when I was ready to deliver him into the world, I did everything that everyone told me to do. I followed the doctor's orders. I followed the doctor's directions, but my labor with my oldest son was way too long, and it caused a lot of damage. My son was almost 10 pounds when he was born, and my labor was 45 hours. I knew the whole time while expecting to deliver him that something was wrong, that something was not good, but I listened to the doctor. And later on, after a little while, I found out that this doctor that I had been assigned was a very bad doctor. Somebody who was not known for keeping women's perspective and women's intuition and women's understanding of their own body into play. And so I just basically did what they told me to do. What I didn't do was advocate for myself. I think we all find this times in our lives, these times where we don't advocate, where we feel like we know what the right thing is for us or for our family or for our community, and we forget to advocate. So I want to tell you a story about a woman in the Bible, and she is given this task of advocating. Her name is Esther. Sometimes we know her as Queen Esther. She's actually an entire book of the Bible. This book of the Bible is written about 2,500 years ago, and it's one of those stories that Christians don't really know what to do with. But our Jewish friends and neighbors, they embody the book of Esther. They love the book of Esther. And so this book of Esther, it starts with the story of King Xerxes. Now, I want you to remember this about King Xerxes. We would call him Xerxes is a jerkses. He is a bad dude. Now, Xerxes, he only comes to power at this time because he was born into it. He's a rich, privileged kid. His father, Darius, had done all these things to secure wealth for him, but then he's just that party son. And so King Xerxes, he flaunts his parties. The Bible actually says this. He says, there were couches of gold and silver on a mosaic of marble, mother of pearl, and colored stones. Drinks were served in golden goblets of different kind, and royal wine lavished on the bounty. And so he throws this huge party, and then he basically gives everyone at this party this direction. The king gave orders to all the officials of the palace that everyone is to do exactly as they desire. Everyone in his whole party is able to do whatever it is that you want. Talk about the debauchery, right? But then after this party, Xerxes, he is merry with wine. So he's like schnockered, like completely over. He summons his wife Vashti to him. And she looks at her drunk king husband and she's like, nope. And so this makes King Xerxes super mad. So he decides, you know what? You're not queen anymore. And so he gets rid of Vashti and he decides that he is going to find a new queen. And so what he does is he gets his advisors together and says, hey guys, we're going to hold a beauty pageant. I want you to go all throughout the country, pick the most beautiful girls, bring them here, and then I'm going to pick who is going to be my next queen. It's like The Bachelor, basically. So then Esther, we're talking about her. Esther, she is an orphan. Her parents have died and she's raised by her cousin Mordecai. And she's in her teenager years and she is beautiful, but she is forced to be in this beauty pageant. She's forced to be in Xerxes the Jerxes Bachelor kind of lineup. And so she comes in and she is beautiful. And King Xerxes chooses Esther. And this might sound like she won some big prize, but she hates this. And she is just a slave in the house of this King Xerxes the Jerxes. Fast forward, King Xerxes, he has this advisor, and his name is Haman. Now, Haman personally hates Esther's people, the Jewish people, and personally hates Esther's cousin, Mordecai. And so Haman, he convinces Xerxes when he's drunk one time to kill and annihilate all the Jews in town. So the king, in his stupor, he says, okay, I'm going to do this. So then Esther is afraid because now she's in the house of the king, and the king doesn't know that she is a Jew. And so the king plans to kill all of the Jews, and Esther, she doesn't know how to advocate for her people. She is afraid, and she is young, and she knows what the right thing to do is, but it just doesn't come out of her mouth. So she hosts this dinner. She invites Haman, she invites Xerxes to come, and she hosts this dinner. And the king loves it so much, he says this in the Bible. It says, "What's your petition, Queen Esther? Whatever you want will be granted for you. I appreciate your dinner so much." And so here is her moment. Here is her moment to be true to herself. And she freezes. She doesn't advocate for herself or for her people. And the plan to annihilate all the Jews continues. So then she panics and she says, "You know what? Come to dinner again tomorrow night." And so the next night they gather for a similar dinner. And overnight, Esther prayed and prayed so she could advocate for herself and for her people. And after the dinner, the king asks her, "Whatever you want, queen, I will give it to you." And she finally says, "If I've won your favor, king, and if it pleases the king, let my life be given to me and the lives of my people." And she advocates for herself and for all of her people. And dun, 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 the drama is unfolded. King Xerxes does not annihilate the Jews. Esther saves the day. When it came to giving birth to my second child, my Mackenzie, you better be sure that I advocated for myself in that moment. That I didn't want the same experience I had on my first pregnancy to make its way into my second pregnancy. My friends, I think with the story of Esther, we can realize that sometimes our words get stuck, but sometimes, most of the time, we get another chance. So wherever you're at today, wherever it is, where you feel like your advocacy gets stuck, don't worry. You'll get a second chance, and God will give you the words. Because God does God's perfect work through imperfect people, just like Esther. Have a good day.